This is Texas News Now, sponsored by Germania Insurance.
Here's a look at today's headlines across Houston. Hello, I'm Len Cannon. We're getting new reaction from people on board a Delta flight forced to return to Hobby Airport Wednesday morning. That's after a passenger became unruly. Authorities say it took 10 fellow passengers to stop what they describe as a violent rant. Jason Miles with the story.
We were the only news crew here at Hobby when the unruly passenger was taken into custody by HPD. Meantime, a fellow passenger told our sister station in Atlanta that he plans to press charges. A routine flight from Hobby to Atlanta on board this Delta jet hit turbulence shortly after takeoff this morning. When this passenger started yelling at the flight crew and fellow passengers before allegedly attacking some of them.
And then he stumbled and fell in my seat next to me, and I was so scared, so I just put my feet up and my hands up because I was getting ready to kick for my dear life.
A woman traveling with her pet dog says the unruly passenger apologized to her before punching other people, adding he was heading for the cockpit, stating he wanted to speak to the pilot. But despite initial information, Delta says the man, seen here after being wrangled, did not attempt to access the flight deck or any other airplane door.
He started snatching up this one guy in the window seat. He was yanking him by his shirt, his hair, and it took like 8 guys on the plane to get him off of that guy. And they had to sit on him, and we had to turn the plane around and go back to Houston.
We were outside the terminal as Houston police escorted the man to a patrol unit. HPD telling me this afternoon that he was taken for a mental health evaluation. We're blurring his face pending possible criminal charges. Meanwhile, the flight to Atlanta was back in the air about 90 minutes behind schedule with one fewer passenger. In a statement, Delta Airlines said the safety of crew and passengers is of the utmost importance and that unruly behavior will not be tolerated. It also apologized for any inconvenience. Reporting from Hobby Airport, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
A mother pleading for help after her teenage daughter was shot and killed at a party on Valentine's Day. And sadly, we have learned this is one of several shootings involving teens in Houston just this month. The latest shooting happening at a party near the South Beltway in Brookside Village. Hours later, friends rushed the girl to an urgent care way off of FM 1960. Annalie Ruiz with the story.
Well, the mother said she was supposed to be planning her daughter's graduation. Instead, she's planning her funeral. We've pulled numbers, and since February 1st, 8 teens have been shot in the Houston area, and 4 of them have died.
She would have been alive.
Tonight, Yadi Alatorre is still in shock, struggling to understand how her 17-year-old daughter, Mariah, was killed over the weekend.
Disturbing, something that I never thought I would go through or see.
She said Mariah had gone to a party with friends, but something was off.
When I kept texting and calling her, she wouldn't answer me.
She said it wasn't like Mariah, so she reached out to one of her friends that was also at the party.
And she answered, and she texted me, and then I was like, okay, everything's good, but it just something didn't seem right.
Mom said she checked the location through her phone, and at one point, both girls were at the urgent care off of FM 1960, and she called again.
Why? What happened? And she said, Mariah's been shot.
Mariah was later transferred to HCA Houston Northwest, where she died. According to the Houston Police Department, officers responded to a disturbance on Drag Road in Brookside Village. Police say there were roughly 300 people at the party. Officers heard gunshots and partygoers began running from the home. Investigators say Mariah was driven from the scene in a private vehicle to the hospital, where she later died. Her mother is left wondering what happened in those missing hours.
I found out she was in the urgent care. It was already 3-something. So what happened between those hours, I don't know. Right now I feel like we have more questions than answers.
If you look at this map, Mariah was allegedly shot here, but was taken to the hospital nearly 40 miles away.
Nothing makes sense.
Her daughter's dreams were just beginning. Mariah wanted to become a nail technician and study sonography. Her family hopes she's remembered for the joy she brought others.
She was a fun person to be around, She's really sweet. She was loving. She was genuine.
Now, if you have any information on this case, you're told to contact Crime Stoppers or the Houston Police Department. Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
An investigation is underway after a massive fire tore through a recycling plant in Liberty County Tuesday night. The flames lighting up the sky near Dayton, forcing a shelter-in-place order for nearby residents. That order was lifted Wednesday morning, and the fire is nearly contained. Devon Robin was on the scene with more.
While the shelter-in-place order was lifted well before the sun came up this morning, but the Liberty County Fire Marshal says what you see here to my right isn't necessarily smoke coming off of the debris pile, as it's more so steam coming off of the pile here as firefighters continue to put water on the remaining hot spots. The fire broke out Tuesday night at around 7 o'clock here at the Omni Recycling Facility near Grand Parkway and US 90. And at one point, at least 14 different fire departments were on scene battling the blaze. Fire officials say there's no impact to schools in the area or any of the nearby neighborhoods, but water had to be shuttled in with little water coming from the fire hydrants. It was later discovered a water line valve was closed, possibly due to new construction in the area, and once that was reopened, firefighters had a surplus of water to work with.
The lights you see over here are the tanker trucks that are full of water. They brought in a private contractor to help take over some of the operations and the water supply. These tankers are volunteer firefighters that will empty their trucks into the two 20,000-gallon frac tanks that have been set up in series, and they will be flowing water out of that.
We're told household appliances like washers, dryers, and refrigerators were burning in the debris pile as crews worked to keep the fire from reaching an area where cars and other materials were piled up. Now, a cause to this fire is still under investigation, but leaders with Liberty County say that they expect this fire to be completely out by end of business today. In Dayton, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
Houston rapper and community activist Bun B sharing an emotional and personal moment on social media this week. Truly a special moment. That is his wife, Queenie, ringing the bell at Houston Methodist in Sugar Land on Tuesday as she celebrates being cancer-free. According to Bun B's post, Queenie was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer last year, went through 5 months of chemo before having surgery last month. He thanked all his wife's doctors and highlighted the importance of annual health checkups. What a great moment for that family. That's a wrap of your Houston headlines. I'm Len Cannon.
I'm Mark Mullins with the headlines in Austin. Some neighbors say it was a small victory in San Marcos as City Council rejected a rezoning item that would have allowed for the development of an AI data center. Next week, Hays County commissioners will consider a measure to halt development of facilities like data centers in the county because of water concerns. And with all of this talk of water and growth, some farmers in rural central Texas communities say they're worried about their futures. Here's reporter Jessica Cha.
Working in the dirt.
Just has the sweetest little smell.
And getting her hands dirty.
You know, this is the dream. I mean, is this not the dream to farm and grow and produce something on your own land?
Chelsea James says she could do this forever.
We've owned this property now for 10 years. I've never seen it this dry.
But she says the 4-acre vegetable farm and wholesale flower business they've grown since COVID is stunted. Central Texas is in the middle of a multi-year drought. And with the Edwards Aquifer reaching historic lows, Guadalupe County and places just like Creek South Farms are under heightened water restrictions.
There's not much forage. No, it is very, very short right now.
She says it's even getting hard to keep livestock fed.
So we're primarily substituting with hay right now,
costing them $800 extra a month. But James says they can't even grow and sell more produce to make up for it.
But we're only allowed to water a certain amount of time, so that really restricts us on what crops we can grow. Obviously, there's tons of crops we would love to grow, but they require way too much water.
While Chelsea says they have to limit the amount of produce that they grow due to the drought, they say the development in surrounding counties is rapidly increasing. And so that may soon affect farmers like them even more. Early Wednesday morning, the San Marcos City Council rejected a rezoning item that would have paved the way for a new AI data center not too far from James's farm. But the issue could be up for debate again elsewhere, she fears.
But it could be a possibility if a developer decides to build across the street or behind me. I mean, there could be a chance that I don't have as much water available.
And she says she's not against growth. but there has to be more consideration to make sure water supply can keep up with demand.
Conserve as much water as you possibly can. Add, rain gutters to your home, to every home, every development. Collect as much as possible.
And while they wait for rain,
all I know is farming, and I know that I don't have enough water to keep doing this long term.
They can hope they can keep doing this forever. In Guadalupe County, Jessica Cha, KVUE News.
Now, water supply has been a big concern in our region for years. The Lower Colorado River Authority announced it's looking at adding another water reservoir online. It would be near the Colorado County town of Eagle Lake, about 115 miles east of Austin, and it could help the LCRA meet its goal of adding 60,000 acre-feet of water supplies by the year 2040. And for context here, an acre-foot is equivalent to about 326,000 gallons of water. LCRA leaders say it would be larger than its newest reservoir, the Arbuckle, which came online last October. So this would be another way to boost supply as demand grows. Austin police leaders fired an officer after a controversial use of force incident in downtown was caught on camera. Last October, video captured the moment APD officer Andy Garcia punched a man in the face on 6th Street. That man, James Rodriguez, has since sued the city and the officer, saying that he was simply standing there that night and was punched with no warning. APD now says after a disciplinary hearing, Officer Garcia was suspended indefinitely. The deadly conduct case of an Austin police officer will go before another jury. The Travis County DA's office announced it's decided to pursue a new trial for Daniel Sanchez 3 months after the first one ended without a verdict. Officer Sanchez was charged in the 2022 shooting death of Raj Munasinga. On the night of November 15th, Munasinga was seen standing outside of his home with a rifle and fired into an open door as officers arrived. Sanchez ordered him to drop the rifle and almost immediately fired his gun, shooting Munasinga 5 times. The case went to trial last November. Prosecutors argued Sanchez acted too quickly, while the defense said he was addressing a threat. After 2 days of deliberations, jurors were deadlocked on whether Sanchez's actions were justified. They told the judge they could not reach a verdict. Now, a new trial date is set for August. You might see new automatic license plate reader cameras around Austin, even though the city ended a controversial program last summer. DPS tells us they installed those cameras along several state rights-of-ways earlier this month after getting TxDOT approval and permits. Reporter Adam Bennett shows us what they say they're being used for and who can access that data.
Nope, you're not seeing things. Automatic license plate reader cameras are back in Austin, months after the city council ended its contract with Flock Safety after community pushback. Well, now Texas DPS is installing these cameras outside City Hall and several other places around the city. The word is getting out. This sign on South Lamar near Riverside Drive sits beneath one of DPS's new automatic license plate readers, or ALPRs.
Kind of curious as to what it is.
We met Michael Knight Wednesday after he pulled over to take a closer look.
Especially with us riding around the way we do, there's always kind of like the police are watching you, sort of like stigma in the bike community.
The cameras also caught Mackenzie Ryan off guard.
They just popped up
after she helped defeat ALPRs last summer at Austin City Council.
We had to do some digging and figure out that, DPS had this $24 million contract with Flock.
In an email Wednesday, a DPS spokesperson told KVUE the cameras are, quote, part of continued efforts to improve public safety. Their written policy says ALPR usage includes identifying stolen vehicles, finding wanted or missing people, helping with Amber Alerts, helping with criminal investigations and for homeland security purposes, and boosting security at critical infrastructure or public events. The policy says all images and data will stay in Flock's database for 30 days, and limited metadata will stay in a TxDOT database for up to a year. DPS says usage will be limited with regular audits. Still, opponents worry about misuse of data and immigration officials getting access.
There is no oversight for this massive amount of data being shared across the country.
But supporters say the cameras help understaffed police departments solve crimes more efficiently.
The city of Austin tends to have extreme policies. The state comes in and has its own response, and they have statewide jurisdiction, so they have the ability to put these in.
Meanwhile, out on Austin's streets,
they find like murders and crazy criminals. Yeah, it's great. But if they're just using it to try to like get a couple extra dollars in the city's pocket by getting tickets paid, that seems kind of sketchy.
Austinites say they'll watch closely to see how they are used. Adam Bennett, KVUE News.
Conservative advocates say Austin ISD may have violated the Texas Women's Privacy Act, which restricts where transgender Texans can use bathrooms in public buildings. According to Texas Values, the parent of an Austin high school student filed a formal complaint with the Attorney General's office, alleging that a biological male student was allowed to use a female restroom at Austin High. The complaint says the district did not respond to the parent's January and February notices, nor did it offer a solution within the 3-day window that the law requires. In a statement, an Austin ISD spokesperson told KVUE they're aware of the concern and are working with the campus to learn more. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.
For insurance you can trust, help is just a handshake away. Find your local agent at germaniainsurance.com.
Really, overall, warm, breezy, dry weather continues for the next day or two across the state of Texas. Thursday afternoon, Del Mar 92, Falfurrias 92, very warm. In South Texas, feels like early summer is on the way instead of late winter. There will be a mix of clouds in the morning, then break out into sun. It's mostly cloudy for Southeast Texas, Houston 82, Galveston 71. There could be a sprinkle. Austin partly cloudy, 84. San Antonio partly cloudy, 84 Thursday. Dallas 77, partly cloudy. More sun than clouds up here. Sulphur Springs sunny and 78. Waco, you guys hit 83 on Thursday. We'll continue to watch the wind blow at times in West Texas, and it's cooler. 59 Amarillo, Plainview 61, Shamrock 61 under breezy conditions. Fire danger again, Northwest Texas and West Texas. Van Horn 69 with sunshine tomorrow. What a day. San Angelo, you guys hit 80. Ozona 79, Fort Stockton 77, partly cloudy. Again, fire weather outlook is elevated to critical across West Texas and North Texas, and really from Amarillo to Lubbock to El Paso in the critical area. Be really careful with anything that can burn. Had some pretty big fires on Wednesday in the Oklahoma panhandle because of that wind. Let's go into Thursday afternoon. Rain? No. Could be a sprinkle on the upper Texas coast. Galveston mostly cloudy, but nothing to write home about as Texas stays dry. Really, it's been a dry week and will continue that way. This is Friday morning. A sprinkle is possible driving from Houston to San Antonio to Port Lavaca, but clear, cool, and breezy in a hurry Friday afternoon out in West Texas. Amarillo, you could see a little sprinkle shower Friday afternoon. It will be cooler in Amarillo on Friday. And then Houston could see a sprinkle shower, but no significant rain. Rain totals, this makes it look like you're going to get measurable rain in the Southeast Texas area, but you're not. For the most part, this is a sprinkle less than 1/10 of an inch between now and Friday night, Saturday morning. A little broader look at temperatures Thursday afternoon. San Antonio 80, Harlingen 93, El Paso 65, Amarillo 58. A little bit of chilly air comes into the north portion of the Panhandle Thursday afternoon. Thursday night into Friday morning, Amarillo light freeze, San Angelo 49, Marfa 39, Tula 68, Victoria 69, Harlingen 73, and then most of the state warms back up Friday afternoon. San Angelo near 80, Del Rio 83. Houston 75, Dallas cool 59, Amarillo cool at 50, and North Texas will get chilly Friday night into Saturday, and then a front comes in on Sunday to make things cool across the state again. Could be a light freeze northern portions of Texas on Saturday night into Sunday. We are dry across South Texas with extreme drought. It's between dry and severe drought North and West Texas. And the rain outlook pushing forward into February 24th through the 28th continues to bring the rain and snow out west while we stay dry. That's where we stand, Texas. Back to you.
For insurance you can trust, help is just a handshake away. Find your local agent at germaniainsurance.com.
I'm Chris Lawrence with your top stories in North Texas. A man spewing hate disrupted some college students' peaceful morning prayer, and Richard Solomon has learned local leaders plan to take action.
Every prayer has a purpose. That's why Muhammad Hingora came here to Oak Point Park before sunrise Sunday morning.
It's called Baraka Breakfast, and so they timed it right before our holy month of Ramadan.
About 50 students with the University of Texas at Dallas held this sacred moment for those observing Islam. But shortly after it started,
disgusting fake religion,
that peace was broken.
For a second, I'm just standing there looking at it. I'm like, this cannot be a real moment right now.
Muhammad says he recorded this video of a man, not with the group, who walked up and started yelling towards them.
This guy with a GoPro strapped to his chest, he has his phone on, he's wearing a hoodie with some derogatory things about Islam and everything.
So when I saw it, I thought it was just, it was sad in a way.
Mustafa Carroll is the executive director for the Council on American Islamic Relations, DFW. He says this situation is troubling. Plano police say they've been made aware of the video and situation, but Carroll wants city leaders to condemn the behavior.
My concern is that if somebody does that, then what's next?
sick and disgusting religion.
Muhammad says no one reacted. They just kept praying.
I can't fathom someone having that much hatred in their heart towards another individual.
And he hopes this message reaches others.
We just have to be kinder to each other.
Now, Plano police say they will formally investigate this matter once a police report is filed, which Carroll says will happen very soon. For now in Plano this evening, I'm Richard Solomon. Back to you.
Some parents are furious after learning a church allowed a sex offender to work at a private school. Brittany Costello is in Hazlet, where they're demanding answers.
Parents say they were furious when they learned that the pastor's son, a registered sex offender, had been working inside the church and this private Christian school for years. They say they were never told when they went to enroll their children here. Now they are demanding much more than a public statement the church put out on social media.
In a statement posted on social media, Pastor Eric Crawford admits to hiring his son, Caleb Crawford, as an independent contractor who also leads music. Parents, though, describe his role much differently. They say their children know him by name. Parents Ryan and Danny Jo Gunderson say they have pulled their 3 children out, saying they feel lied to and betrayed by the entire church.
I'm all about repentance. I'm all about restoration. I'm all about rehabilitation. Okay, I have a colorful past myself. I'm not perfect, but you cannot be restored to a school with children. That is not okay.
Pastor Crawford put out a statement saying his son has been removed and will no longer serve in any volunteer or ministry capacity. They say they are committed to accountability and transparency, though the pastor did decline our requests for an on-camera interview. Parents say it is not over. They are demanding change within church leadership. In Hazlet, I'm Brittany Costello.
A dentist in Sherman is accused of treating a patient while intoxicated. That's just south of the Texas-Oklahoma border. She's denying the allegation and told Tanya Iser she plans to fight the charge.
Officers were called to a Sherman pediatric dental office Monday after the father of an 8-year-old boy reported a dentist appeared intoxicated while performing oral surgery. That's according to a search warrant affidavit police obtained for dentist Kelly Buck's blood.
It is obviously very dangerous. It puts people at risk of harm.
The affidavit says a dental technician at the office observed behavior by Buck, which led her to believe that Buck was intoxicated, prompting the technician to stop the surgery. Court records say police noticed Buck had slurred speech and dilated pupils.
They were able to see signs of intoxication on Miss Buck.
Buck was arrested for allegedly performing surgery while intoxicated, a state jail felony punishable by up to 2 years in jail. Investigators say she was not an employee of the dental office, but was working there temporarily through a staffing agency.
It is unusual. It's not every day we reference the Texas Occupations Code for an offense.
In a phone interview, Buck denied being intoxicated and told us she is in the process of hiring an attorney. She said, "This is absurd. I plan on fighting this. In the meantime, it's doing irreparable damage to my career. I offered to take a breathalyzer and they refused." According to the warrant, Buck wouldn't give consent to draw blood, so police obtained a warrant. That testing will determine what, if any, intoxicating substances may have been in her blood. Buck has been licensed as a dentist in Texas since 2016. She has no publicly available disciplinary history. In Sherman, I'm Tanya Iser.
A new affordable housing development is coming to Collin County, and as Jobin Puneker reports, Jericho Village is designed with a specific purpose in mind.
This may look like any neighborhood in any city, except so much more happens inside these doors.
I didn't imagine my life like this.
Nia Davis is first a mother, but also a survivor of homelessness and abuse.
Psychological, physical, mental, financial, sexual, like it was all the above.
We are protecting her identity, and people like Pastor Janet Collinsworth of Agape is trying to restore it.
This is our mission and our ministry. We're giving them an opportunity to change their life, truly.
Jericho is a 38-unit community-based village in Wiley, with up to 3-bedroom units, even studios.
We will have staff here all the time so that they can build relationships with all of our villagers and know them and know what they need.
Janet is fighting for safe and stable homes, and it's not just about being affordable, but attainable.
I make enough to be able to afford a place to live, but that doesn't guarantee that you are rentable.
The rent here will be income-based. There will also be support services on site.
Jericho Village.
The project even got the attention of the HUD Secretary, Scott Turner, who believes this can be a model nationwide.
What would a place like this mean for you?
Freedom. I can breathe. Our zen, our peace is ours.
This single mom will have to apply, and she will, for herself and her children.
Now we have a sense of community.
Jericho Village is close to receiving its certificates of occupancy, which means they can soon open up applications.
You just have to be willing to accept the help. Every no, there is somebody that will say yes.
Jericho Village is years in the dreaming and making. Janet is waiting for that Christmas moment when all the villagers can congregate and celebrate.
That's when I think I will feel like this has changed lives generationally.
Bringing to life a true village. In Wiley, I'm Jobin Puneker.
And as Jobin mentioned, this is the kind of concept that can be replicated nationwide. And those are your headlines from North Texas.
I'm Bailey Bates. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. A deadly road rage in East Texas is serving a grim reminder for Central Texas law enforcement. The Waco Police Department says there are a couple of things drivers should take into account in the event that they are put in a dangerous situation. Our Adrienne Carbajal has the story.
Just remind yourself it's not worth it.
After a road rage shooting in Tyler this past weekend left one man dead and another facing a murder charge, Central Texas law enforcement are reminding drivers to stay vigilant while on the roads. Waco PD spokesperson Sierra Shipley says while instances like the one in Tyler are not common in Waco, they have happened before and urges people to remain calm if provoked.
Practice that defensive driving, and there are many times where we see someone that's either in a rush, maybe cutting people off. Does it get annoying and frustrating? Yes, absolutely. Just take that moment instead of getting angry, lashing out, or reacting in a way that could be harmful to yourself or others on the road. Just take a second, breathe.
With ongoing construction projects across Waco, including busy corridors like I-35, officers acknowledge that congestion can increase frustration.
Along with our motorists, we've got our construction crews that are working on the roads, and we know that can get a little daunting as well as you're driving through the area. So just, again, take your time, take extra time if you need to. We know you get in a rush, but it's better for you to arrive safe and late than it is to not arrive at all.
If a situation escalates or you feel threatened, Shipley says call 911 immediately. Reckless driving that is not an emergency can be reported to the local police department. If it happens in Waco, officers in the area will attempt to locate the vehicle, and if reckless behavior continues, they can initiate a traffic stop.
Officers stress that no traffic dispute is worth risking your life, and staying calm behind the wheel could make all of the difference. Hollywood legend Robert Duvall died last Sunday at 95 years old, and here at home, there's a bronze sculpture honoring Duvall and his beloved character Augustus McCrae from Lonesome Dove. Our Juliana Jackson talked to the artist behind this piece, who says capturing Duvall's essence was the goal from day one.
It was 1989.
Well, you ain't no more cattleman than I am.
Robert Duvall rode onto television screens across America, portraying retired Texas Ranger Augustus McCrae in the beloved miniseries Lonesome Dove. That performance inspired Salado artist Ronnie Wells to create Duvall as Gus McCrae in bronze.
So appreciative of the fact that we did the sculpture representing the character Augustus McCrae from Lonesome Dove. And it was a thrill of the lifetime when he decided to acknowledge it. The hat had to be right.
Wells spent nearly a year on the piece. From the start, he knew exactly what kind of man he was trying to capture.
My favorite character in almost every movie that I've ever seen him in.
Wells measured the actual costume Duvall wore in the film and kept Lonesome Dove pulled up on his iPad throughout the entire process.
I liked the way it looked, such a relaxed, inviting position. That was what I was striving for.
At 93 years old, the Hollywood legend responded.
Ronnie Wells, this is a very memorable day. I want to thank you for it. And I say God bless the people of Salado, Texas.
The community has turned to that very sculpture to remember the man behind the character.
Ladies, whether he likes it or not, he would be forever known as Augustus McCrae in the movie. And he, of course, he acknowledged the fact that that was his favorite character of all time.
Duvall was also honored at the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame in Waco. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.
Here's your headlines from Southeast Texas. I'm Mark Armstrong. 2 men, they're in jail facing drug-related charges after an incident in Groves Tuesday. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SWAT narcotics units, they executed a search warrant at a home in the 6600 block of 32nd Street. Investigators say that they discovered a large amount of drugs, including DMT. Officials called it a suspected manufacturing lab. They say it wasn't active at the time, but they did collect evidence. And we have an update on a 4-year-old who was severely burned by hot water earlier this month in Beaumont. A family friend says Kobe Holland is at the Shriners Burn Unit in Galveston and has already had 2 surgeries, with at least 1 more expected. The family says it's still unclear when she's going to be able to come home. A GoFundMe has been set up to help family with medical expenses. You can find a link on our website, 12newsnow.com. Drivers on the East X Freeway, they may soon notice a change. Beaumont City Council, they unanimously approved raising the speed limit Tuesday from 55 to 65 miles an hour between I-10 and the Hardin County line. Now, the speed, it's been temporarily lowered during TxDOT construction, but officials say that work is now complete. After a brief discussion Tuesday, council members moved forward, passing that measure without opposition. And Tuesday night was the 44th annual Taste of the Triangle event, and it showcased some of the best food from across Southeast Texas. It also helped to raise scholarship money for Lamar culinary students. Dozens of local restaurants offered samples to ticket holders, and every ticket helped fund those scholarships. Diamond Williams, who works at Crazy Cajun, says the event also helps promote local businesses and talent.
It helps us put our name out there more. You know, we need more business, so of course we're gonna go ahead and bring our best food out and gonna show y'all our best, you know, what we're capable of. And, you know, we're just here to support the community, you know, support the college students.
That event also connects students directly with local restaurant owners and industry professionals. Tuesday, Beaumont City Council, they narrowly approved a resolution supporting a proposed senior housing development on Phelan Boulevard in the west end of the city. That's a project that could compete for state housing tax credits. Now, that vote, it passed 4-3, but not everyone on the city council or the community believes that Beaumont needs more tax credits for housing. There was already a lengthy debate about traffic and infrastructure. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she's breaking it all down.
And I believe that the reason these developers keep coming back in to ask for tax credits from Beaumont is because we have a history of giving them. And other communities don't necessarily do that.
A 4-3 vote determining the fate of an affordable senior living complex off of Phelan Boulevard, shedding light on several concerns from residents who live near the proposed site.
Kids are leaving Westbrook or going to Westbrook. A lot of them are walking. There's no sidewalk out there right now. You know, it's kind of dangerous.
Traffic was a main concern, as officials estimate each unit could generate 5 to 6 trips per day.
Look at the number of units for both of these projects today. They would be generating about roughly 500 trips a day.
Others say the need for housing, especially for seniors, outweighs the concerns.
I think that we can always be found helping our seniors with affordable housing, and we learned today that there's a real need.
A demand that remains high.
The waiting list size as of June last year was 25,779 families on the list for public housing and for the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
The complex would include 66 units for people 55 years or older. Developers say they're dedicated to help the housing gap.
As we know, there's, a housing problem in the United States and costs are up. And so we hope that we provide a solution to an aging population that seems to be squeezed out of the market.
Some residents say future growth should bring more variety.
I don't think everything we build should be affordable family homes. I think we need to concentrate on single family homes as well and have some diversity there.
And developers say the location of the complex, it goes off a scoring criteria, meaning that it must be near grocery stores, parks, and hospitals. Beaumont Council members, they passed a specific use permit to allow a cocktail bar to set up shop along Calder Avenue. It's going to be located in what used to be a home health care service. Construction, it's already underway, and developers told 12 News that they're aiming for a late spring opening and what they're calling a high-end craft cocktail bar with an intimate, moody vibe. And those were your headlines for Southeast Texas.
For insurance you can trust, help is just a handshake away. Find your local agent at germaniainsurance.com.
I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. After a local sneakerhead lost thousands in a burglary last year, the accused thief has admitted to the crime and now faces sentencing. But as Zach Briggs reports, not everything was recovered.
Deshaun Dixon, a self-proclaimed sneakerhead,
I've been collecting ever since I was a teenager.
can finally feel some sense of relief.
It was just a matter of time.
After 21-year-old Andre Joe Garcia was arrested and admitted to breaking into his apartment last June. A neighbor's surveillance video captured Garcia hauling bedsheets full of Air Jordans, 21 pairs of sneakers worth more than $5,000.
It's just really sad that, there are people like him and other people who feel that they are entitled to other people's things.
Garcia didn't just steal Dixon's expensive shoes. He also snatched up his video game consoles, which police say he ended up selling at a GameStop in town. Turns out those transaction records were key in helping police identify and arrest Garcia.
It's important that any major purchases you make will have your serial number on it.
Dixon was able to find the box and receipt for his video game consoles. The serial number matched the information gathered by police, but not all of his electronics were recovered.
Good news is we found your PlayStations. The bad news is we didn't find your Nintendo Switch.
As for Dixon's Air Jordans, still missing.
I've already accepted, that they're gone. However, though, it still hasn't stopped me from collecting. As I said before, I still enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Thinking about the future, Dixon plans to attend Garcia's sentencing next month. He faces 2 to 20 years in prison.
I really don't want to send an individual, especially as young as he is, to jail. But I've always been told you got to be held accountable for the decisions you make. And unfortunately, he made a very dumb decision.
Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
A bomb threat prompted a school evacuation and cancellations in Guadalupe County today. Students and staff at Steele High School were safely evacuated after a threat was left on the school's voicemail. Meredith Haas shares what we know and what police are saying.
Well, out of an abundance of caution, students and staff were evacuated from the school today while classes were ultimately canceled while police swept through the building. Now, I spoke to a worker in the area who said she saw the students coming out of the school and she just heard them talking about how scared they were and how they wanted to go home. Police say the threat was left on the school's recorded phone line. Officers arrived and listened to the message and immediately moved to clear the building. The Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD says students already on buses were redirected to Samuel Clemens High School for pickup. No injuries were reported, and the district says all other campuses remained open and operating on a normal schedule. Investigators later learned the same threat was also left at Bernie High School. Police say this appears to be a coordinated effort, similar to a swatting call, and at this time, there's no intelligence suggesting the threats are credible. And as a precaution, law enforcement has increased police presence at the schools and is working with local, state, and federal partners through a fusion center. Now, police are asking people to not spread any rumors online, especially with unverified information. If you have any information at all, you're asked to call 911 immediately. Now, this is an ongoing and active investigation. When we have the very latest, we'll provide it on air and online at KENS5.com. Meredith Haas, KENS 5.
San Antonio police are investigating a shooting that killed 2 men outside a lounge on 1604 near Lock Hill, Selma. Simone Simpson has a story.
Since September of last year, more than 150 calls for service came into the San Antonio Police Department for the Ridge Shopping Center, including 6 calls for a shooting that came in early Wednesday morning that took the lives of 2 men.
Son! Where's my son? Where's my son?
Emotional cries after 2 lives were lost. This after gunfire erupted outside a Northside lounge early Wednesday. SAPD said officers responded to a shooting in progress call around 1:24 in the morning at Mist Hookah Lounge in the 4500 block of North Loop 1604 West. According to investigators, an altercation went down inside the business before the shooting, and a man was removed from the bar. A short time later, police said a person matching that description drove by the hookah lounge and fired multiple shots toward the patio area. According to SAPD, the gunfire struck 2 people, a 27-year-old man and a 50-year-old man. Both died at the scene.
No arrests have been made in this case so far. Reporting from the Ridge Shopping Center, I'm Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
The search continues for the driver who hit and killed a woman while she was crossing the street early Wednesday morning. That accident closed down part of Bandera Road for several hours while police investigated. Rania Kaur explains what happened.
San Antonio police tell us just before 6 in the morning, a woman was crossing the street on the crosswalk when she was hit and killed by a driver who sped off.
Bandera Road was closed from Broadview to Sunshine Drive as police pieced together what happened. San Antonio police believe a driver hit a woman who was crossing the street on the crosswalk right before 6 Wednesday morning. Witnesses told police the woman was in her 60s. San Antonio police still looking for a suspect. The only information they know about the driver is that they were driving a gold Ford Fiesta that now has damage to the left side.
This is still an ongoing investigation, so we'll keep you updated on air and online. From the Northwest Side, Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
And that's the news in San Antonio.
Hi, I'm Brennan Gurley, and here's what's making headlines across East Texas. If you've ever driven down Tyler's Broadway Avenue during rush hour, you probably expect traffic. But new data shows the road is no longer one of the most congested in Texas. CBS 19's Nayeli Cruz explains why and why some drivers say it doesn't feel that way.
For many, Broadway Avenue means one thing.
Traffic is definitely ridiculous.
5 years ago, the road ranked among the 50 most congested according to TxDOT. This year, it's ranked 120th, the lowest position yet.
Well, that may not sound great, and a lot of people may not necessarily agree with that number, but for multiple years, South Broadway's been in that top 100 list.
Cameron Williams, Director of Engineering Services with the City of Tyler, says they've been working on improvement, reducing congestion and delay, and they have the data to back it up. But residents say
Broadway has gotten worse. It's gotten way worse. I mean, there's way more people here than there's way more businesses. It's just it's grown a lot.
In the mornings,
pretty bad.
Around here, yeah, pretty bad. And then like around 5 p.m. when everyone gets off of work, that's when it gets bad.
Both Richard and Eladio say sometimes it comes down to avoiding Broadway altogether during peak hours.
I think it is the worst in Texas. I mean, I don't go into a lot of other areas, but it's ridiculous. We need some like Jetson vehicles so we could just fly above it.
It could be a lot worse, and so I think that's a positive message.
To keep the road from climbing back up the rankings, the city is preparing its next phase of signal retiming, along with additional mobility projects aimed at creating more alternate routes. In Tyler, Nayeli Carrillo, CBS 19.
One of the hotly contested races we're following is two familiar names running for Gregg County Precinct 4 Commissioner. That seat oversees the budget, taxes, roads, and daily operations. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza takes a closer look at the candidates and what they're promising ahead of the March 3rd Democratic primary.
Incumbent Danny Craig II is facing off against Longview Councilman Ray Wade for Gregg County Commissioner Precinct 4.
I just think I bring the ability, the capabilities to expand this position to do a lot of the work that hasn't been done before.
I'm going to continue being the same person that I've been, and I'm going to continue to show up for them.
Craig began his public service in 2007 at the Gregg County Sheriff's Office, serving for more than a decade. And in 2017, he was elected county constable.
It made me really see the county and see the need of the people.
He was appointed to the Precinct 4 seat last fall after his father, longtime Commissioner Danny Craig Sr., passed away.
Yes, I mean, it's big shoes to fill. So therefore, I'm going to continue on being me, run the precinct, run the county. In my position, I respect it. I respect the people.
Craig says his campaign is focused on safer, stronger neighborhoods, fair, transparent county decisions, and smart, sustainable growth.
There's a big difference between county government and city government, but at the end of the day, I've been around it. I've built the relationships with the different cities that I'm going to help represent and be a part of.
Ray Wade brings city-level experience serving on Longview City Council since 2018.
My experience makes me the perfect candidate to take all of the work that we've done on the city level and to expand that out to the county level.
Wade, who represents Longview's District 3, has mentored youth through the I-20 sports program and advocated for improvements in South Longview. Both Craig and Wade say they're focused on the entire precinct, including rural areas like Lakeport and Easton.
I just believe that there's things that I can do from a county seat to be able to make the lives a lot easier for those citizens out there, to give them the attention that they haven't received in a long time.
Wade says if elected, he'll focus on infrastructure and quality of life. His priorities include improving road and utilities, broadband access, and economic growth.
And I would be the candidate that would come in from day one with the energy and the vision to make change, to make things better for everyone throughout.
In Gregg County, Robert De La Garza, CBS 19.
And that's a wrap of your East Texas headlines. I'm Brennan Gurley.
I'm Mike Gillespie in Corpus Christi, and here's a look at some of what's happening in South Texas. The Corpus Christi City Council has voted yes to a number of projects aimed at solving the region's water crisis. Now, it comes as leaders are looking to secure funding for multiple water projects totaling $370 million. The first, a $175 million reverse osmosis plant by the city's Owen Stevens water treatment plant. The second approves construction and design contracts for the controversial Evangeline Aquifer project in San Patricio County. It's something the cities of Sinton and St. Paul are working to try to block in court.
The longer term is the Evangeline, and that's really subject to a decision by the administrative law judge on March the 2nd. If they rule in our favor, we hit the ground running. If they don't rule in our favor, then that project gets delayed 1 to 2 years.
Now, to help smooth the way, a city representative did join Sinton at their own city council meeting. The goal there being to secure a discussion between both cities as leaders look to see whether they can work together to move the Evangeline project forward. Well, to a special anniversary now commemorating the founding of the nation's first Mexican-American civil rights organization. The League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC, celebrating 97 years. It all began with a group of disenfranchised Mexican-American citizens who believed that they deserved equity regardless of their skin color, language, or ethnic background. The organization centered itself on education, scholarship, and, above all, representation on the congressional level. It's a priority that continues to drive over 700 chapters across the United States.
We need to make sure that as an organization, LULAC and our partners working together to meet with those congressional folks so they understand that, not only do we support them, but we want to work with them, and we want to make sure that whatever bills are being debated, that our input is being asked, and we're making that.
Now, their founding chapter, Council Number 1, is based right here in Corpus Christi. Over the years, they've supported the community through the Feria de las Flores Leadership Program, the Menudo Bowl charity football game, and even a new free academy for Latina entrepreneurs. The events help bring life to their motto, all for one and one for all.
This is what makes Council 1 ticks. These people that we have are volunteers. They do it as a labor of love, a love for the community, a love for humanity, and a love for the rights of other people.
Well, with one anniversary underway, LULAC is already planning for their 100th in a few years. Plans are for a celebration that will bring people right back to Corpus Christi, where it all began. And what started as a small idea for one Alice native just a year and a half ago has turned into a fast-growing South Texas brand. Scary Larry Pickles is on the shelves of several stores, and now owner Larry Garcia is announcing a new partnership that will bring his bold flavors to the grill. However, the journey to get to this point hasn't been easy. Our Bill Churchwell got the tough assignment of putting the Scary Larry burger to the test.
In the parking lot between Sam's Club and Ashley's Furniture in Corpus Christi, we found a guy who's kind of a big deal.
Just get 3 original. 3 original?
Under this simple pop-up tent, Larry Garcia is doing what he does best, selling pickles.
They are hand-cut, hand-packed, and handcrafted. They're still canned the old-fashioned way.
Giving me the full pickle tour, from original bites to sweet and spicy and the unconventional. Who knew you could mix Kool-Aid and pickles? Let's try it out.
It's amazing.
Larry has been at it for a little over a year, but he didn't set out to become a pickle entrepreneur.
I would have never guessed I'd making pickles, man. It was a bet from the kids to make pickles one night, and then I lost my job.
Since then, his venture has taken off, selling more than 50,000 jars. But the grind never stops, even when his dream of opening a brick-and-mortar store last year on the city's south side didn't go as planned.
I'm probably going to have to close that store down.
He's not letting it sour his dream, though. He took a new direction, now partnering with other small businesses. And this coming weekend, he'll be celebrating a new partnership.
Hi, welcome to Dairy Burger. Dairy Burger. They're from my hometown, Alice, and I'm from Alice. So we got together, we talked, what can we do?
And that's where the Scary Larry Burger was born.
I saw his pop-up tent. I said, let me give it a try. I pulled up, and he gave me the pickle tour, and best pickles I ever had.
Naturally, a perfect fit. Moment of truth. Let's test it out.
I made special pickles for them, sliced, and bought new blades to cut them, and I made a dill sauce for the burger too.
He's now encouraging other small businesses to think outside the jar.
The more we unite, the stronger we're gonna be, man.
Bill Churchwell. That's actually really good. 3 News.
Oh my gosh, I gotta take another bite.
And that is a quick look at some of what's happening in South Texas.
Texas News Now is sponsored by Germania Insurance.
For insurance you can trust, help is just a handshake away. Find your local agent at germaniainsurance.com.